Genesis chapter 39, and Joseph is brought down to Egypt. Remember, he's been sold by his brothers to these traders, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites who'd brought him down there. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. Now later on, this is what happens when Joseph's put in prison, and the prison keeper notices the same. So it's quite simply so that if we are godly, then somehow God's blessing is seen in our lives in different ways. It doesn't mean we won't suffer, because Joseph suffered. Joseph found grace in this man's sight, and he served him, and he made him the master over all the house, and all that he had put into his hand, all that he had, he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And that's what you sometimes find, that people in the world are blessed because of their association with us. He didn't even know what he had apart from the bread which he ate. Joseph was a goodly person and a very attractive young man. And then his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, "Sleep with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Behold, my master doesn't know what is with me in the house, and he's given everything that he has under my hand. There's none greater in this house than I, but he's not kept anything back from me apart from you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" And she spoke to Joseph day by day, but he didn't listen to her, to even be with her. So that's the way to avoid temptation. If someone's tempting you to do something wrong, don't even be with them. Keep out of their way. If somebody's saying to you, "Come on, let's do drugs, let's do this, let's be naughty, let's do this," it's not only a case of saying no, but don't even be with them. That is the way of wisdom. And it happened one day that Joseph went into the house to do his work, and there were no men of the house inside it. And she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." He left his garment in her hand and fled and ran away. And that's what Paul says. Flee, run away from doing wrong. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment, it would have been like his jacket, in her hand, and had run away, that she cried out to the men of her house and said to them, "See, my master's," that's her husband, "has brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his jacket with me and fled and ran away. She kept his jacket by her until his Lord came home." Poor Joseph must have been terribly frightened and praying. And she spoke to him according to the same words, saying, "The Hebrew servant which you brought to us came in to me to mock me. But as I screamed, he left his jacket with me and ran away." When his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake to him, saying, "After this manner did your servant do to me," that he was very angry. It doesn't actually say who he was angry with. He may well have been angry with her, because he might have seen through this as a lie. Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison. Well, normally he'd have just killed Joseph. But he doesn't. That's why I wonder if he actually saw the untruth. Joseph's master took him, put him into the prison, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favour in the eyes of the prison keeper. And the prison keeper put into Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. Whatever they did there, he did it. The prison keeper didn't look to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. So again, it's a case of a situation repeats in our lives. And this is how it would have been as Joseph thought about his jacket, his coat. He'd got into trouble from having a coat of many colours. That had been used against him, and now again a problem with a coat. And it was also unfair. And the great thing about Joseph is that he keeps his faith in God and his love of God and his care of people, despite life being so unfair to him.